Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Neil Haley Show. And I'm always excited to have such wonderful guests. Go to my website, totaltutor.net, for more information. Twitter, Total Tutor, Neil S. Haley, Facebook, LinkedIn, Neil Haley, Instagram, Total Tutor, and Google Plus, Neil Haley. And my producer is going to be live tweeting later in the afternoon. I'm taping 4 hours, 8 episodes, and I'm 16 wonderful guests. So I'm so excited to welcome the program author, children's book author, Denise Barry. Denise, thanks for calling, and how are you?
I'm good, Neil. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. And just a little story, Tooth Fairy yesterday. My daughter lost a tooth. What a kind of a coincidence. Denise, so basically about your book with the Tooth Fairy, and now we'll also talk about Soap on a Rope, but tell us a little bit about what's happened to you since your Tooth Fairy children's book. Tell us about that. Isn't that funny? My daughter lost a tooth yesterday.
I know, that's so much fun. I hear that so many times. So yeah, that book's doing great. Kids are loving that book. I'm getting lots of great reviews on that. So yeah, it's super fun. And since then, I have written a new book called Soap on a Rope, and it's very different than Tooth Fairy, but it's very fun.
I'm holding it up right now. Again, the illustration is fabulous, and to get to show TV and be able to hold up the book and see that, and what you're so imaginative. I mean, especially what happens to the tooth in your Tooth Fairy book to now Soap on a Rope. And how did you come up with this idea, Soap on a Rope? I mean, I know that's gone back years to think about when people had soap on a rope.
Oh yeah, I know it is a thing, isn't it? But I didn't even I was just washing dishes. It's so weird. I was just washing dishes, and the title, what became the title, popped into my head, Soap on a Rope. And I just loved it so much, and I thought, oh my God, that has to be a book. But I'm like, what do I do with that? So I really had to rack my brain to come up with something you could do with Soap on a Rope and create a whole story on it and do it in rhyme. But actually, this book practically wrote itself. So, you know, when that happens, you've got something good. It literally took me 2 weeks to write that book, but certain pages, and especially because they're in rhyme, were pretty difficult to write. So, you know, it did drag on into months, but I'm so proud of this story. You know, I created this book with the intention of bringing positive messages to kids and adults. So, and actually the acronym for Soap on a Rope is SOAR, S-O-A-R. So to me, it really signifies what I was hoping to get out of it. Like hopefully your mood will soar after you read this book, your attitude, your awareness. It's just a really fun book.
Exactly, and thinking about the whole rhyming thing of that's challenging, and you're showing your creativity. Sometimes children's book authors, you know, one book, that's it, and then this idea came and you went after it, and you've really enjoyed your opportunities, especially also to go to schools to visit, and the kids are probably asking, what's Soap on the Rope, right, Denise, for sure?
Yeah, you know, it's so fun. So I do my presentation with them, which is a blast. I think you've been seeing some of my Facebook posts.
Yeah,
we're having so much fun. But then what I do, I had a woman make me an actual bar of Soap on a Rope, and she did it so beautifully, Linda Lair. And it's rainbow colored. There's sparkles in it. So at the after the reading, I show them an actual Soap on the Rope, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's real!" It's so much fun.
Well, it seems so much fun, and I think it's something that you really enjoy, Denise, getting out and visiting the schools. That's one of the things of why you're a children's book author, is to get to share it with the kids, for sure, and see their reaction of your creativity.
Yeah, but actually the funniest thing is I did not sign up for like doing that kind of stuff. I was so nervous my first visit to the school. I remember thinking, I am not an educator. And when I first started out doing it, I thought, what can I possibly teach anyone? So what I did, I decided not to teach, but to entertain. And if they learned something as I entertained them, that would be a bonus. And you know what? They are learning something, to me, so fundamental to life. They're learning how creative they are. Some kids don't even think they're creative, but by the time I'm done with them, they know they are. It's so much fun.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm going through the book and looking at the illustrations, and they're fabulous. And looking at one of the pages where she receives the gift, which is in a box, and then looking at specifically the reaction afterwards, and she sees, what is this? And I'm going to show the soap on the rope and showing the illustration for our viewers in TV land. That's the great thing about being able to do this and flip through and look at this great illustration for sure. And the response, you've just been really excited about it, haven't you? The kids' response and the parents and everybody, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Andy Berger's illustrations are just incredible, especially in this book because he had to make a lot of facial expressions because, you know, it's he had to show a lot of action. It was just so much fun. They're beautiful.
Oh, they definitely are. And then are the kids saying that they're going to go tell their parents now they want to have soap on a rope?
Yeah, and it was awesome. At one school, they had the kids come up with ideas for what they can do with the soap on a rope, and some of them were better than my idea. They are amazing. Kids are just so smart. Yeah, so I'm sure they should start selling soap on a rope for kids because they're going to buy them.
Definitely, I think so, and I guess it'll give them that idea of going back to the old school soap, not all these like, I guess, perfect types of soaps out there that we can purchase. Hey, let's go back to the old days, soap on a rope. Denise, do you ever remember the days of soap on the rope? I don't.
You know, I think we had one growing up, but I really don't remember. I really don't remember it.
What do you think the purpose? I guess the purpose is don't lose that soap and drop it, I guess, with the rope.
I'm not really sure. Honestly, before I even really remembered soap on a rope from a kid, I thought I made it up.
No,
so
I remember it.
I was like, oh.
I wish I could go ahead and Google back that and stuff like that and specific things. And after your first book, did you really think this quickly? You're published again, you're ready to roll, and I'm sure that you thought you were going to do I guess a sequel to the Tooth Fairy book, but now after seeing you go outside the box now, Denise. This is not you. From when I first met you to now, you know,
Actually,
you would have stuck. Go ahead.
No, you are so right. I really thought I was going to, and I still might. I really love the idea of doing a book on the Tooth Fairy called, I remember telling you this from our last interview, called, Why Does the Tooth Fairy Forget Me? You know, how sometimes that Tooth Fairy just forgets to take that tooth. But when I was at one of the readings, I actually, my author visits at school, I actually got an idea for an entire series of books based on one little girl. How funny is that? So, and actually it's about whining, like how kids sometimes just have, sometimes kids just have such bad behavior. And she was whining because I didn't pick on her, and it just bugged me because, to be honest, I never let my kids do that. You know, of course they did it, but I didn't allow it. If they wanted something, they would ask me for it. So it made me think about all the things we have to teach our kids. You know, they need certain social skills if they want to be confident, functioning adults. So that made me, whenever I caved as an adult, as a parent, my husband would say to me, "We're not raising children, we're raising adults."
Yes, absolutely.
How true is that, right?
It's so true.
That reminded me. Yeah, so that made me realize I can do something important here. I could teach, help teach kids how to be functioning adults through reading, which is a fun way to learn. That's actually that's an important way for kids to learn. So I have this whole series of books based on bad behavior, that you don't want your kids taking into adulthood. So I think my first book might be titled Whining Wanda.
Now, and beyond your wildest dreams, Denise, after I first talked to you as your first book, did you think that now you're going to be writing such a series and you have a career ahead of you in this, especially with the success of your first and now your second book and how the kids are loving this? This is going to be something that you're going to do for the rest of your life. Are you excited about that?
Yes, because honestly, Neil, because there's ups and downs in everything you do. And before Soap on a Rope came out, for some reason I was just like, I never want to do this again.
Oh, no.
And then when I started going to the schools and seeing how well received it is, I'm like, oh my God, give me an idea, for another book because I want to keep doing this. And I got an entire series of books, and I love writing inspirational stuff, so it's actually exactly everything I love. Children, inspiration, just, just ask for things and you will get them. It's pretty cool.
And it's really interesting, Denise. Sometimes we think that that passion of ours is going to disappear and that things aren't working out when you first try it, and then some big break happens, and then you're like, oh my gosh, now I know I can do what I love. Because how are they going to receive my book? And then this thing happens, and then this idea, and then you say, wow, I really have a gift. And I think, Denise, thinking outside the box is different for you, getting yourself out of your comfort zone, which you have by going on radio and television interviews and visiting schools. It's really opened up a lot of your life, for sure. A lot of opportunities by getting out of your comfort zone, for sure.
That's so funny. That's exactly how my life has been. I have been uncomfortable every day of my life, when I chose to do this. But it's the most rewarding thing. And actually, that's one of the messages in my book, too. Like seeing something with fresh eyes, just not giving up.
Now, so Denise, I know for sure that you really are interactive with your fans, especially at your website. So tell us about specifically times you do some contests. You really are interactive with your readers, and the children really can get involved in this as well, especially with the Tooth Fairy book. And again, I remember specifically we used your the little holder for the tooth yesterday to put under the pillow this last night. So where can we find that website that's very interactive so parents can really allow the kids to get involved and do certain things? Where can we go?
Yes, you can go to www.denisebarry.net and then click on my books. Like, what does the Tooth Fairy do with their teeth? We'll have a contest for whoever comes up with the best creative idea for what the Tooth Fairy might do with your teeth. I give away a prize every month for that.
And that really gets the kids excited, especially when you visit the schools, so you get to kindly see all the different feedback of kids and what they think of your books, and it definitely keeps you busy for sure, Denise. And again, I'm going to hold up the book for our listeners just to see, because, our viewers to see. I wish our listeners could see, but our viewers can see how great the illustration is. And for sure, and I'll definitely have you back again, Denise, for your next book. And best of luck. We're Facebook pals, so you'll know what's going on with me. I'll know what's going on with you. So best of luck, and I can't wait to hear when your next book's out. So take care.
Thank you, Neil.
Take care.
Day.
All right, you too. Bye-bye. You're watching The Neil Haley Show. When we get back, another exciting guest. And as you see the beard shaved off, because it's time for the new season, the summer season. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hi, I'm John Walsh, owner of Bethel Bakery, and we are celebrating our 60th birthday this year. We have plenty of events scheduled for this summer and certainly hope that you can join us for our sweet 60th. Each day, now through August 31st, one lucky customer will win a $60 Bethel Bakery gift card just by registering in the store when a purchase is made. Also daily, our Facebook fans can like and share the photo we post on our wall for a chance to win a $6 Bethel Bakery gift card. We also have a community cookie fundraiser with the proceeds supporting 3 organizations in the community: the Joey Fabus Foundation, the Bethel Park Community Foundation, and the Bethel Park Public Library. Each week we are featuring a throwback and new baked good. And if you were born in 1955, make sure to stop in for a free cupcake. Updates are posted on our website, bethelbakery.com. Bethel Bakery, baking life sweeter since 1955, takes great pleasure in serving all our customers. Stop and visit us as we celebrate 60 years of sweet memories.
We're back to the Neil Haley Show. Again, go to my website, totaltutor.net, for more information. Twitter, Total Tutor, Neil S. Haley, Facebook, LinkedIn, Neil Haley, Instagram, Total Tutor, Pinterest, Neil Haley, and Google Plus, Neil Haley, and at Total Tutor live tweet soon. My producer will be coming in to live tweet. So if you're watching the show and it's at a different time or listening to the show, you can live tweet at the hashtag Neil Haley Show and hashtag EdChat or hashtag whatever our conversation is. And I'm excited to welcome the program. It's very interesting how you meet people on Twitter. And I think he is so talented in so many ways. So I'm excited to welcome the program. Oscar from Teacher Talk Live and also Teach Cow. Oscar, thanks for calling and welcome to the Neil Haley Show. And I tell you, it's such a wonderful idea to create a television show just for teachers that teachers really can dig their teeth into. How are you, Oscar?
Thank you, Neil. Thank you very much for having me on. I am really excited. I'm really glad to be on and to be able to share with you and your listeners a little bit about the show. I think I'm really excited about it, and I keep getting this reaction from people that they really enjoy that type of forum.
Well, because you're giving a forum now that we're not just getting the PhDs, we're not just getting the talking heads, we're not just getting the people, that have written 15 books or have done something so special in education that a teacher doesn't have the opportunity to do, choose curriculum. Now we're hearing from the people that are right there, right on top in the classroom, that are day to day, know what's going on, or myself that works with kids every day and knows what learning difficulties, and yourself with your experiences, sharing
with
the joy of teaching and also the struggles and how we can make solutions. Right, Oscar?
Exactly. I mean, for me, as with a background of in teaching, I know firsthand that often, I'm not saying all the time, but very, very often, teachers and administrators are only the actors in someone else's vision of what education is supposed to be. And too often, teachers don't have a voice in the process where they are most equipped. In what other field do you see that they're actually the third-hand person? And so what I'm doing by putting together this show is that I give them an equal voice. And regardless of who hears it, at least they have an equal voice and an equal standing with whoever else comes on, and they can help. Maybe not make changes in policy, but at least the word gets out there. At least they have been able to voice what they believe is the best solutions, and the way we carry it out on the show as well is that we don't necessarily get together to talk about problems. There are a lot of problems we could talk about, but what we come together to talk about is solutions. This is the challenge we face. How do we deal with it as teachers? How do we deal with it in the classroom?
And that's key, because these are the challenges we face on a daily basis. So parents or politicians, whoever watches the show, will be able to say, oh, I never knew this is what this teacher's going through. I always assumed teaching is easier. I always assumed that the kids listen more. I didn't know this was going on a daily basis, and that's what's important. And what you do is you create great topics, like the last one that you can go to teachcow.com and watch right now is Summer Slide. And I had a conversation on my radio show last night about Summer Slide, and your panelists are not as, I guess, crazy about overdoing things for kids in the summer to not lose that learning time. But and then I tweeted out last night about the Summer Slide and the myth. Now, you believe there's definitely is a Summer Slide, Oscar, correct? And that really, I think that even if you lose 1 or 2 months of instruction, it's causing the teachers to reteach right at the beginning of the next year.
Exactly. And that's usually just, a couple months lost, or a couple months that, we had to do things over. Yeah, it definitely happens with several populations. I think it happens more with lower class, low socioeconomic population, and one of the panelists was saying with special needs as well, because a lot of the middle class knows knows about these things, and they're more in touch with their teachers and all that, so they know a little more about what they should be doing in the summer. And one of the things we talked about on the show is just, having simple conversations with your child, and
Right.
showing them processes of what you do, decision making processes and all that. That all helps them grow.
It definitely does. And when I look at Summer Slide in so many ways, Oscar, I see a specific thing that, what is that thing? Maybe we should provide more summer tutoring programs for inner city kids, and allow college students to be part of them, and student teachers and different people, so that these kids continue to not lose ground. And I hate to hear it's only the kids in the inner cities. Our curriculums are built upon this, Oscar. The
Right.
curriculums go back in mathematics, and they teach the same thing they taught the year before. Wouldn't it be great if we could just leave off where we left off from last year, and not have to reteach a concept again, especially even the subject matters? So the first 2 chapters are review, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. The really neat thing about Teacher Talk Live is that that episode is now gaining steam. It's more people are viewing it, the Summer Slide episode, and maybe it'll get on in front of the right eyes, the decision makers, that maybe it'll make them think about funding, and whatever changes could be made to facilitate something like what you're talking about, doing something in the summer.
Exactly.
So,
And doing something in the summer, and I think that it needs to be done. And I can fix education so many ways, provide one-on-one tutors for each individual student that's struggling, and you would never have a lot of these problems. If we can individualize instruction, that's fantastic. Oscar, another great topic you had was, again, inclusion. And tell me a little bit about the inclusion episode, that you had some very interesting special education teachers. Tell about the struggles of trying to get inclusion involved in schools, like co-teaching, things like that, aren't always happening, and the special needs kid is being left behind.
Well, yeah. So some of the things that that we see is that inclusion was implemented a few years ago. I remember when it happened, and suddenly, as teachers, they told us, now you're going to have some special needs kids coming into your classroom, but then there was the issue of coordinating with the special education teacher, and not considering the planning process that it would take, because one of the things we talked on the show about is how the special education teacher has to be really informed of what's happening in the classroom, and so that's a job on the teacher, and that's a job also on the special education teacher. So there is that, and there is not enough staff development, in my opinion, to make sure those kiddos are well served.
Right. There is not enough staff development. Oh, you handle it. You're the special education teacher. Then these regular ed teachers said, oh, even if you have a certification special education, you can handle it. No, unless you're daily working with these kids in one-on-one settings, see how they learn, understand the disability more and more. Classes are not going to give you it. It's experience that's going to give it to you, Oscar, right?
Right. Exactly. So.
And that experience is immense. It's so important to take it to the next level. And you have some interesting shows coming up after this. Tell us about some of the others. Sure. Yeah.
So in the summer, we're going to every other Tuesday. So June 30th is our next show. We just shot one this past Tuesday. June 30th is really exciting. It's called Getting Published. And so the ins and outs of pitfalls and opportunities available to you right now as teachers. So I'm bringing in published authors, and we're going to talk about opportunities that are out there for teachers, and motivation for teachers on how to get published. So that is a really exciting one. I'm sorry, I actually skipped an episode. The next episode before that one is is reflections on the school year, and so
Yeah.
that one is a big celebration. I'm envisioning that one as a big party where teachers are going to get together and they're going to motivate each other because they're going to tell about what wonderful things happened in 2014, 2015. Too often we're surrounded by our colleagues and they're going through struggles and difficulty with kids and difficulty with this administration or that or this. Too often there's problems at school, but we don't sit down enough and celebrate what successes we have had during the year. And so this one's a really exciting one and one that I hope will be watched again right before school starts to energize people.
Energize teachers. It's something that you can tweet out. You can do different things at TeachCal. You can tweet out specific things. Hashtag Teacher Talk Live, the live tweets that you're going to be providing. A lot of things that can be logistic nightmares. Oscar's tackling, and he has a fabulous show. And the whole thing when you're talking about those fabulous things that happen with teachers and those fabulous stories, I think that that's a situation that is tremendous because you now have this opportunity. You now have this opportunity to share what you love doing in the classroom this year. So many teachers need to definitely tune in. And if it's already aired, because again, we always don't know when it airs on different places, especially this will be on radio later on, Oscar, not just television, that they can go and subscribe to your YouTube channel. Where is that? Where can they subscribe to your YouTube channel?
They would go to my website, teachcal.com, and there's a button, a red subscribe button right on the main page. And so I made it really easy. Just, click and then accept. And then after that, you get notifications on when new shows are on. So I'm really excited about that. Neil, the July 14th show is going to be really exciting as well. It's called Starting Fresh in the Fall. And so for that one, what I'm doing is that I'm recruiting educational leaders that have different methods and advice and tips on how to start the year off with a system that in place that's going to work for the teacher, and not only established leaders, because I think there's a lot of teachers that are afraid to come out with their expertise. I'm trying to bring in as well other teachers that don't normally speak up, that have something really good to contribute, and but they don't, because they either feel they don't have a book published, or they don't have a PhD, or they haven't spoken at a conference. You don't need to have any of that to be an expert on education. All you need to do is to be able to have taught and have a proven track record, So, that's the July 14th show that I'm really excited about these shows. I think
awesome, Oscar. Well,
there's some really good topics coming up.
Fantastic. So best information, teachcal.com. For more information, at TeachCal for Twitter. Good talking to you, Oscar. Best of luck, and we'll talk soon, man.
Thank you very much, Neil.
All right.
Have a wonderful day.
You too. Take care. That was the Neil Haley Show. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Again, hashtag Neil Haley Show, and tell me what you think. And we'll talk next week, everyone. Good day, everyone.